Hello and welcome to, I'll call these universe questions. And here we go. If you don't know about me, I am a YouTuber and I'm half blind and I do YouTube to make money now that I'm monetized. I barely make anything from it, so your viewership and if you subscribe, those really matter to me and mean a big deal. So thank you so much for doing that. And if you haven't or you know someone else who would like my content, please let them subscribe and like and comment and answer these questions yourself and let me know in the comments. I'd love to get to know each other more, and I think it's a really brave thing to dive deep inside of ourselves and ask ourselves personal questions, and you get more confident the more you get to know yourself. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. Question number 1. Am I bothered by my cosmic insignificance? Not really, because I equally feel that I am significant. Like, I think that everyone matters more than we don't matter, because everything you do has an impact that ripples through this world, so I'm not really bothered. Sometimes it can get the best of me as, like, comparing yourself to anybody does, but it doesn't really bother me as much as it probably used to. Question number 2, do I mourn for a place or a person I've never known? I would say I do. I definitely mourn for, like, I want to go to France, right? And I want to go travel to all these exotic places where the ocean is so blue, like in Mexico. And I want to be able to see all these beautiful sights that I haven't seen. So I kind of mourn that I haven't been able to do that yet. And I definitely mourn for people that I wish I met at times in my life where I needed them. So, yes. Question number 3. Do I really think that there is somebody for everybody? Yeah, I do believe that. There are probably multiple somebodies for people. I don't think anybody is so particular that only one person fits them. Number 4, do I place any value in gender roles? I would love to say, fuck gender. No, I don't. The fucking binary is dumb. And I feel that pressure as a non-binary. But I do think that I want men to be strong. I also want men to cook and clean. So I just want men to do everything, and I want women to be taken care of. And those are my gender roles. 5, do you have to be related to be family? I don't think so. I definitely think you can create your own family. But sometimes that's even more significant than family, but there are people that just feel like family. Question number 6, are platonic relationships just as valuable as romantic or family ones? Absolutely. Perhaps even more so, because you don't have blood or sex to reunite you. You only have the bond of friendship to keep you in place. Question number 7, am I in love? Which is yes. And do I want to be? Which is absolutely yes. Question number 8, do you think you can put love into categories? Family, platonic, romantic, etc. Or is it just one general sensation? I think that love is able to be categorized. But for me, it is a pretty general sensation. There are definitely, like, I express my love in different ways to each category, but it feels like it comes from the same place in my gut. Number 9, would I be happy with a life without romance? And the question is, no, I wouldn't. Judge me if you wish. I just wouldn't. I am a lover. Question number 10, am I always going to be a little bit in love with somebody? I think so. And I don't mind my life being that way. Question number 11, would I change my appearance if I could? I want to say no, and it's not that I don't like my current appearance. I've gotten used to her, and I don't mind her, but I would change it. I would love to be taller. I would love to have, like, a cuter nose and better facial structure and be very thin. I wish I didn't feel that way. It got to me. The advertisements got to me. Question number 12. Do I have the feeling I've lost something that I might have had in another life? Whether it be a person, a place, a world, a language. Yeah, I definitely feel like the story that I have with my parents isn't the story that was supposed to happen in this timeline. Which is silly, because that is the story that happened in this timeline. So if it was supposed to be another way, it would have been. I also feel like in some ways I was meant to be a little European girl, and that I would have been better loved there than in America. And in another way, I believe that I belonged in a fantasy world, and I probably should be speaking French. Question number 13, do I believe in reincarnation? Not in the typical sense. I do kind of believe that souls can be recycled, and so that there are people who have a little bit of, like, other people's souls in them. Like, I definitely feel like I have Emily Dickinson's and Louisa May Alcott's soul in me. I just feel like I do. I don't know how. Maybe that's just me relating too hard, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like little parts of souls go and sprinkle into other people's, and that's why we can feel like connected to other people more so than others, even when we don't really like know them. Question number 14. Would I want to be reincarnated? The answer is heck no. I'm so tired of this life, but if reincarnation is real, I don't have any choice, and my soul is gonna fleck into like a little speck and somebody else is gonna get it. So good luck with my soul, whoever gets it. Best of luck to you. Hopefully YouTube's still around and you can like maybe learn from my mistakes and watch my videos. Make sure my reincarnated self is subscribed. LOL. Too much. Question number 15. Do I think I'm special or just another person amongst billions? Can I be both? Yeah, I do think I could be special and amongst billions. I don't know if special is the right word, but I definitely think that I am very different. And I've tried my whole life to be the same, but I can't be. I don't know why. I've tried. It's just like, I'm just a little different. I don't necessarily think being different makes me special, but I can see other people seeing it that way. But yeah, I mean, in technicality, I am one person amongst billions.
Oh, awesome.
Comprehensive.
What the fuck?
Question number 16. Do theoretical ethical debates have any value? Is it important that people discuss ethical dilemmas, e.g. the trolley problem? Absolutely. I'm so biased though because I think these discussions are so much fun. I think that being able to have ethical debates informs how we will act amongst people currently, and it really can ground us back into our moral selves. And sometimes it can cause you to go into an existential crisis, but I think sometimes that can lead you to appreciate the value of your life. Question number 17. Did I have imaginary friends? Do I still have them? I don't really have imaginary friends. I guess the imaginary friend could be like the personalities that I think my cats have, but definitely my cats have fed me their personalities themselves. I definitely did have imaginary friends. I really can't remember any of them. What's weird is that I feel like I did have an imaginary friend, like the one in Inside Out, but I don't know why. I don't think he sounded like the guy sounded in Inside Out, but I do feel like I had an imaginary friend who had an elephant trunk and was like dressed like that. Maybe that's why they did that. Maybe they pooled like who was the imaginary friend and they got that. Question number 18. Am I religious? Do I think my religion is correct? I'm not religious in the sense of organized religion. Sometimes I really wish I could be, because I think the world would be easy if there was a huge group of people that believed in the standard of rules that was written in a book, and I also believed in that. But as much as I've tried and really kind of tried to dug deep and like be a part of that, I can't find that those religions are correct, but I definitely feel religious in this just one fact of me being like, you should always do people better than what you got, but also that you shouldn't let abusers get away with anything, you know what I mean? So there's a fine line. So if a person isn't abusive, you should do them better than what you receive. Because I think that rule of like, do unto others on with what you wish that they would do unto you, that can still be selfish. And I feel like there is something in this like unselfish living of like going to somebody with grace, but also having like when there is a problem, being able to talk about that problem and get that person help, because just like letting everybody exist in their problems. Like I think you can be supportive when somebody has a problem, but you also can't encourage a behavior that is damaging to themselves or others, because that's not being a good friend. So there's something to that. There is something to that. Question number 19. If I'm not religious, do I wish I was? Why? I guess I kind of already answered that in question 18. Oops. I kind of do feel like that I am religious though, so I don't know if this counts, but I guess that I do wish that I was more normal in my religious beliefs. And part of that too is just the sense of like, I don't want to be as different and as misunderstood as I am. I would love a sense of community that I feel like would be at my back, but I don't feel like that's guaranteed in any religion. Question 20. Do I want a grand adventure? Absolutely I do. I think that would definitely help me with my writing. Question 21. Do I have somebody, whether it be a friend or a stranger, who you think you could have loved if the circumstances were different? Oh yeah, definitely. In some ways, I think I could have been my business partner's like actual partner if the circumstances were different. I think I have that with a bunch of people where I'm like, oh man, I could see myself in a relationship if we had just met at a different time. But I kind of like that. Sometimes I feel like we must have had that scenario already in another universe. And maybe if I'm feeling that, it's like a memory from another world. It's a little crazy, but that's how I think. Question 22. How long does it take you to fall in love with somebody? Is the sensation of falling in love or being in love better? Oof. Honestly, it super depends. It's definitely like at least 3 months, but there's definitely been times where it was like, oh, I just love this person. I love everything they are right away. And usually that love, I will say, ends up like fading faster over time, like because you can't really know a person just on sight because it's not like really who they are, right? So it's just who you believe they are based on your perception. And so usually when I get to know the person beyond what I first saw, I end up being like, oh, I don't love them like that. Like I respect them and I like appreciate their authenticity, but I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna work for a relationship. As for the sensation of falling in love or being in love, I think being in love is better. Falling in love, there's like not as much control, and I think that's where things can get crazy. And being in love is where I'm at now, and it's very content and happy, and things are easy, and it feels like you are a little mouse in a cottage wrapped up in a blanket with a hot cup of tea, and that's just great for me. Question 23. Is love about convenience or something more? Can it be about both? I think that convenience really can influence love because to be in love is to be comfortable. Like I think when you are in love, even things that are uncomfortable become comfortable because there's this person seeing your naked body, which the whole world shames, and is seeing you like poop and fart and pee and eat and dribble and sweat and get sick and is still like being there. And I think that when things are easy, that's going to make you stick around for a person more. And in a world that can be so hard, when things are easy, that's like, of course you're going to fall in love. It's effortless, you know what I mean? Like, and what a beautiful, rare thing that is. So I definitely think it can be both, but it is more than just convenience. I think there has to be attraction, and there has to be like that excited puppy dog serotonin feeling. Like it has to feel like you're kind of taking a drug. 24. Do you think you really understand your gender and sexuality? Honestly, nah. Hard nah. I don't. I don't think I understand anybody's gender or sexuality. I think those are really complicated questions and I'm tired of wondering about them. I just want to be in love. But I understand that other people need labels to categorize. That's the thing is like, I don't want you to label my love. Like, can I just fall in love and why do I have to explain it? Because people are worried that I'm going to be in an abusive relationship or something. And it's like also, I think at this point I know enough to where I would know that and I would ask for help to get out of it. Question 25. How fluid is my concept of gender and sexuality? Probably very fluid. So fluid it's a liquid. It probably could get more though. I just feel like sometimes wondering about this stuff just seems so dumb. Like it's just like, who cares, honestly? Like, cool if you do care about it, but like, who cares? That's like literally my non-binary is like, I don't feel attached to either or any gender. I feel like I am both masculine and feminine, and sometimes there are different percentages, and I don't care, and I don't really think anybody else should care. I just like being both. I don't want to just be one thing all of the time, and I don't fit into the boxes that I've been forced to fit in. I felt super uncomfortable. I feel best in a co-ed situation, honestly. I feel best when there are both male and females and people who don't conform to genders. I just feel best when I'm in a group of people. And I feel like if I were to be like, okay, I'm this no matter what, it's just like, I don't know, right? I don't know all the circumstances that would be like a no matter what situation. So yeah, very fluid. 26. What is the most life-changing choice I've made so far? Probably moving to Los Angeles. I feel like that definitely changed the trajectory of like who I am as a person. And I could have been very different, but I'm glad I made that choice. I like this person. I think if I hadn't moved to Los Angeles, I wouldn't I would always have felt trapped, and like that seems like a really sad life. 27. Am I afraid of growing old? I don't want to be, because what's old, really? You know what I mean? Like, we put a concept on time. In some ways, I'm not afraid of growing old because I have this weird, like, longing for death. Sorry, it's dark, but I am, like, going to be very grateful when I can just, like, close my eyes and it's all over. I don't know if people feel like that, but sometimes I do. And that doesn't mean, like, I'm not enjoying the present. It just means that, like, oh, I think that in some way death will be a release. But I am kind of afraid of, like, being old and, like, crippled and that there would be no one around to take care of me. That would be a bit scary. Sorry, my cats are fighting and they're being the worst right now because they're just little assholes today. So I don't know what that's about. Sorry about that. Sorry about my little asshole cats. But yeah, so I guess I'm a little afraid of growing old, but I'm also excited to grow old and excited to have wisdom, and yay. I think there'll be some cool things. I also hope that I'm in a good nursing home if that happens, or that I'm at least, like, going to be healthy enough to take care of myself when I'm old. Question 28. Would I want to live forever? How about for 1 billion years? 1 million, a millennium, a century? Nah, I'm good, thank you. I think I would be fine living to be about 100, maybe at most 120. Then, you know what? I'm pretty done. Somebody else can take my space. I have enough of a carbon footprint. I've made enough trash in this world. I've done enough things. I don't really want to be around forever. I don't know why. Cool, you know, I'm excited to see what the world would be like in 1 billion years, 1 million, a millennium, a century, but I don't need to be there to personally witness it. And maybe part of that is to, like, my Christianity that was held to, of that, sorry, my cat is being just a big jerk. He wants to eat, but they've been overeating, so I have to, like, teach them to hold back so we're not gonna get fat and have heart attacks, you know, so it's just what it is. But anyway, yeah, I don't feel the need. I guess I don't know why. I've always been like, oh, I'll be like a spirit and I'll be able to see 1 billion years or 1 million, and, like, I'll be able to peek out from heaven, even though I'm not religious. So that's so interesting why I think that way. But I don't know. I just feel like it's not my business to be there. I don't want to be a vampire. They always seem so miserable, you know? Do I believe in some form of gods? Ugh. Probably not. Or maybe sort of. I definitely feels like there is this, like, other, whether that's, like, nature or some other, like, giant puppeteer in the sky, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like there are multiple gods. Like, it feels like this chaos is, like, just the chaos that one person could create. It doesn't feel like 1 billion other gods going in a different way, because it feels like it's just, like, one person skimming a television and laughing, you know? Question 36. What are the color of my socks? Right now I'm not wearing socks because I'm barefoot, but usually I like dark colored socks because in Los Angeles you can get, like, smog on your socks, and that is gross, and I keep ruining light colored socks, and it makes me feel, like, kind of sad inside, like the terrible bad guy in a children's story where the, like, black smoke is, like, engulfing this, like, happy thing. So, yeah. 39, what type of music do I like? Oof. I guess I really do like folk music and sort of, like, alternative indie pop music. Very fun. I like something that, like, reflects on life, but also, like, has a good beat, and the music, like, also links to the lyrics in some way. I definitely like music that, like, is like, oh, this is exactly what I'm feeling. Thank you for putting it into this thing that I can belt at the top of my lungs and, like, release from my body. Thank you so much. If you're a musician, I love you, and you have an undeniable amount of power, and I want to learn everything from you. I want to learn more from musicians. I need more musician friends. Question 40. Do I prefer sunrises or sunsets? I want to be a person that sees the sunrise more, but I do love a good sunset. That's just how it's been. Question 41. What is your favorite milkshake flavor? Strawberry. Especially one that has, like, legit, like, parts of whole strawberries in it. I love that. My business partner doesn't like that, and that was, like, very offensive to me. I was shook. I was like, I don't understand, because it's, like, one of my favorite things ever. Question 42. What football team do I support? It could be American football as well as soccer. I don't really follow soccer. I probably should. I honestly don't really even follow sports, but having been raised by a family that does and dating a boyfriend that does, I like the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Lions, the Packers. We'll even put the Miami Dolphins, and that's it. I don't think I like anybody else. Maybe the 49ers. I'll do that. And that's it. I don't follow soccer enough. I don't even know soccer names. So, sorry. Should. Maybe one day I will. Question 43. Do I have scars? I do have scars. I have one on my wrist I don't know how I got. Maybe from when I broke it when I was 3. I know I have one on my vagina that I got shortly after my ex-husband left because I fell over the bed he didn't finish making. And it, like, went up and, like, fucked me up and almost killed me because he had such, like, bad fucking voodoo energy, man. That guy is, like, surrounded by ghosts and demons. That's all I can think. He needs huge spiritual cleaning. I probably have other scars. Oh, I have a scar on my eye, on my left eye from my corneal transplant and when I had Pseudomonas and it, like, ate it. So, yeah. I might have more scars. I don't really know. I have, like, a pockmark scar above my eye. I'm just, like... How am I alive? Who knows? Question 44. What do I want to be when I graduate? I guess I've never technically graduated. I would love to have, like, a published book, I guess. I would love to, like, be able to go back to college and it not be a terrible experience. I would like to be surrounded by friends and, like, a good person when I graduate. Question 45. If I could change one thing about myself, what would it be? It sucks that when I think about this question, I'm not automatically like appearances. I wish that I could do things faster. I guess that's not about appearance, but I definitely would change like a bunch of appearance stuff about me. I would also change my physicality. Like I would try to make myself like have more energy. Question 46. Am I reliable? I think it depends on what way. Like, if you want to ride, I can't really help you with that because I don't drive. But I think if, like, you needed a friend who would vent or you needed somebody to, like, come to an event and you could count on them, that's most likely me. Obviously, like, I do have health stuff that can sometimes make me miss things, so I'm not as reliable as I would like to be, but I think with a person, given my history, I'm pretty reliable, and I've definitely met people who are less reliable than me. So, I'm like... I'd say probably like a 79, 80% reliable, maybe even higher, maybe like an 85. Question 47. If you could ask your future self one question, what would it be? Are you famous yet, bitch? Anyway, yeah, I guess I hope she's happy in the future. I think she probably will be. And I hope she got her shit together. I hope we're more organized. Tell past me how you did it so we can, meet in the middle here. I want to know. Question 48. Do I hold grudges? I think sometimes. I think if you've messed with me, I'm very less likely to trust you again. And it doesn't mean that I won't, like, love and respect you and, like, let you live your life. I'm not trying to make everybody's life miserable. That's really just not what I'm about, no matter what you've heard. But I'm also, like, if somebody's hurt me, why go out of my way and be like, hey, come walk in and hurt me again if you'd like. Why not? Like, would you like to do that? So... it would take a lot for me to know that this person is not going to act the way that they have acted in the past. So I'm capable of letting go with my grudges, but it's a two-way street. Question 49. If I could breed 2 animals together to defy the laws of nature, what new animal would I create? Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think I want to do that, though. I really don't like forcing things to mate. But I think it would be cool to have a little catfish, but that's not like a catfish that we have, but like a little mermaid cat. That would be cool. Or a little cat that flies. It would also be like super hard to maintain because cats that don't do those two things are already like wild and crazy, at least the cats that I have. But yeah, I think I would like that. I would like a little fairy cat or a mermaid cat. That would be pretty cool. Question 50. What's the most unusual conversation I've ever had? Oh man, I don't even know. I think I'm always having unusual conversations. The fact that people talk to me is very unusual. I think it's funny, like when I'm talking to my boyfriend's friends about like him as a sexual partner, like that's very interesting because people really haven't, I don't really know if people like had that with me. Like I feel like usually I don't really have a friend that somebody would talk to about that way in me, so it's like a very unusual conversation. That's just one I had recently, but we definitely have a lot of unusual conversations because I'm an improv and that's like half of the game, baby. Question 51. Am I a good liar? Absolutely not. I'm very terrible. I always go too far. I can't even think of good lies. My mind, when it's like, okay, lie about something, it goes very blank. There are times where I'm like, even when I take a lie, it's about a previous truth. It's about like something that like came up recently that I didn't use as an excuse. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to use that now as an excuse to get out of this. Question 52. How long could I go without talking? Maybe a while. I would probably start talking to myself because I think my voice likes being warmed up, being a performer. So I think that if like that stuff didn't matter to me, I probably could just like not talk forever and just be like alone with my thoughts and like writing. But um in my normal day-to-day life, it would be very hard to go without talking, especially my cats. My cats like need to be talked to. Like they get weird in silence. They start doing things that they know will make me talk to them because they need the sound of my voice. Like we're just obsessed here. We've just got, attachment issues going on here, and I guess it's just gonna have to stay that way till we die because I don't really know how to do that. I guess I had to take them to a therapist, but I'm scared because I don't want to hear if I have flaws that are like hurting my cats. I would feel so sad, and I'm like, I don't even know if I can change them. I also just think my cats are a bit silly to really fixate on my flaws like that. Like, come on, get it together, guys. Question 53. What has been my worst haircut style? Oh, I definitely like when I smoothed my hair, it was like so thin and greasy, and I would cut my bangs so short, and then it was so dark. Like it just looked really bad, and it was really weird because I feel like I felt really confident about my hair at that point in time, and I really shouldn't have because it looked terrible. I've been like going back and editing my past pictures, and I'm like, why? But definitely the time when this girl like messed up my perm and like made my hair like crimped fried, that was a really rough time. It was a pretty bad haircut. Question 54. Have I ever baked my own cake? I don't think that I have baked my own cake. My mom used to make my cakes when I was little. I've definitely like bought my own cake. I think that was my favorite experience, was buying lottery cakes and making others eat them and like bringing them on the culinary experience that is lottery, because lottery is just fabulous. Please sponsor me. I want to work for you, lottery. I would sell my soul to you. I know it's terrible, but I would because I love it. I love it. What you're doing over there, it's great. It's amazing. Are your choices fated, or do you believe in your own free will? I don't know. I think some choices are fated. I think no matter what you do, this is the way that things happen in this timeline. I don't know why. I've just felt like that sometimes. It was just like, hey, this was just how it was meant to be. And sometimes too, that like makes me feel better, honestly, because, well, if it was how it was meant to be, that's how it's meant to be. And like, this is the life, and I have something to say on that, and this is the way it has to be. I honestly, I mean, I think you have like minor choices of free will, but I definitely think there are some big cosmic events that are like meant to happen. I think that like there was nothing that I could have done in my divorce, is that I guess except like I should have not gotten married. Like that was like, I think I had a free will to have not gotten married to him, but I think no matter what, my husband would have acted the way that he was. Like I think that was just like it felt fated because there was no kind of thing that could change it. It definitely at least felt like I had control. Maybe that he did, but in that point, like for me, it was fated. Like maybe other people have free will and a choice that's fated for you, and vice versa. Man, that's a good question. Next question. Do I have a hunch about how I'm going to die? Honestly, I've always thought that I'm going to die in a car wreck, and then which is why I was like, oh, I'm going to take myself off the road. That'll curb that fear. And then I've realized I was like, oh, I might get hit by a car as a pedestrian. I could also see myself dying of cancer, probably like ovarian. I could see that. I could also see myself being murdered. So one of those three, what will it be? Do I believe in star signs? I don't know that they're like no matter what accurate, but they're fun, and I think that like they've helped me make sense of me. So I don't know if believe is the right word, but I think they're fun. How old do you have to be considered an adult? Very interesting. I have an American bias because, like, in England, it's different. In some places, it's like, oh, you're 16, you're an adult. I do kind of feel like at 18, that is adulthood because you are then responsible for things. And you're not like, at 18, you are not technically forced to go to school. I guess you're not really if you're homeschooled, but you're technically like supposed to, you know? But at 18, you start to have, you know, really responsibility of your choices. That's like when the justice system comes down, at least in America. But it's very interesting because we just decided that was the age. And it's definitely still a young age, but I think like it's gotta happen at some time. And I do think at that point you're ready. And I would be like, I think 16 is still too young because I think 16 is like 16 to and 17 up until like you're done with your senior year of 18. Those are kind of like your trial years of adulthood. Like, yeah, then you can drive and you can start to like stay up later if you wanted, and you shouldn't drink alcohol, but you could start to experiment at those ages with like relatively low free consequences. I don't think that you should, honestly. I think we stick alcohol too young, but that's like you can get kind of like a trial period at being adult at those ages. So you at least have 2 years, and then at 18 you're like, okay, you're ready to like test it on your own for good. So I think 18's fair. Last question, and it's a doozy. Was my childhood happy? There were definitely periods of joy as a child, and I know that I have had a happier childhood than most people, but I, as a child, had a lot of melancholy and loneliness and indescribable, like, feelings to what was happening. I wasn't told that I was raped until I was 13 and had kind of, like, pieced it together myself through health class, and that I think is a big explainer to me of like the ways that I was feeling as a child, and I wish that I was told because I think I would have been happier with that knowledge because I would have had some sense of what was going on because I felt very dissociated from my body pretty much most of my childhood and a good portion of my current adult life. I feel like I've been the most present in my body in these recent years, and that's like pretty freaking sad. I wish that it wasn't that way. Yeah, I did not necessarily, I wouldn't go around and be like, oh my god, my childhood was so happy, because it wasn't. It was very sad, and I'll never get it back, and anyway, that's the end of the video. Whatever. I think sometimes having a sad childhood, I learned things from it. It's not the end of the world. So, what did you think about these universal questions? I would love to know your answers. I hope you had a happy childhood, and I hope if you're not having a happy childhood, that you have a very happy adulthood, and know that things can get better. And sometimes, yeah, some people shouldn't be parents, and they don't know what they're doing, and they make children very, very sad. And I'm sorry that you personally are going through that. So yeah, it would mean so much if you guys subscribe, comment below, let me know what you thought of these videos. I'm doing a couple of more question and answers. And yeah, I'd just love to hear what you think, and let me know. Have a good rest of your day. Make sure you subscribe.